My family was never the same. Part 2. The second I got back in my truck, I started making calls. Money solves problems. Information solves them faster. Within 2 hours, I had a name, a buyer, a location, and security footage confirming the sale. My parents had sold Max for less than $800. $800. That was the price they put on the last gift my mother ever gave me. The buyer turned out to be a decent guy. He had no idea the dog was stolen. When I explained everything and showed him proof, he immediately apologized. Then he opened his front door. The moment Max saw me, he sprinted across the yard. Lily dropped to her knees, crying as Max tackled her with kisses. I don't think I've ever felt relief like that. Most people would have stopped there. I didn't, because this wasn't about money. It wasn't even about the dog anymore. It was about consequences. The next week, my lawyers went to work. The theft, the trespassing, the security footage, the documented sale, everything. My parents were already drowning financially. Legal fees hit them like a train. Jessica panicked. Dad panicked. For the first time in their lives, nobody was rescuing them. 3 months later, there was a knock at my front door. I opened it. Dad looked 20 years older. Jessica looked exhausted. They both stood there silently. Then Dad actually got on his knees. The same man who spent my childhood telling me I wasn't good enough. Begging. Jessica started crying. We have nowhere else to go. I looked past them. Max was lying beside Lily on the couch. Happy, safe, loved. Everything I'd never been as a child. Dad whispered, please. I smiled. Not an angry smile. Not a cruel smile. A peaceful one. Then I said, you spent decades teaching me something important. Dad looked hopeful. Big mistake. I continued. You taught me that when someone only values one child, eventually they end up with only one child. Neither of them spoke. You chose Jessica every single time. I pointed at her. Congratulations. She's your retirement plan. Jessica's face went white. Dad looked like he'd been punched. Then I delivered the line that Lily still talks about years later. The difference between us is simple. They stared. When I had something I loved, I protected it. I looked at Max. Then at Lily. You had something that loved you, and you sold it. I closed the door. The last thing I heard was Jessica screaming at my father. Months later, I heard they'd finally turned on each other completely. The golden child blamed the parents. The parents blamed the golden child. Nobody won, except me, because every evening, I sit on my porch with my daughter and Max. And whenever Lily asks why Max never leaves our side, I tell her the truth. Because loyalty can't be bought. And unlike my parents, some family actually means it.